What is up, everybody? My name is Jacob. We got a special guest here that is Chad Elliott in the building. We are here for the next episode of Closers Confessions, and we have got a really good one because Chad is an amazing guy. He's my new coworker, by the way. NCI Ford author. He's an elite salesperson, been in different industries across sales for so many years. There's a lot of other cool stuff about him. Maybe I'm blanking on, but Chad, if you'd like to introduce yourself, give us maybe some background on you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so obviously you guys know who I am. If you don't, that's okay. You will soon enough. But yeah, a little background on myself. I actually, when I first got into anything with influence and persuasion, it started when I was probably 18 years old. Started in law enforcement. I worked in law enforcement for about 6 years
Oh
over in
yeah.
Northern California. Yeah, so I'm actually from Northern California. Everybody thinks I'm from a city. Maybe it's because I don't wear my cowboy boots all the time, but I'm actually from a small like farming community where
Oh
tractors
wow.
drive on the road, all of that jazz. But I was in the sheriff's department there for 6 years, and then
Wow.
right after that, after I got out of law enforcement, I ended up moving to Oregon, the great state of Oregon. Not that
Okay.
great, but
Where in Oregon?
it's Salem, Oregon. Yep, that's where I'm at now. So.
Oh, you're there
Moved
now. Okay.
there. Yeah, moved there. Got into sales. I actually moved in with my now wife. And I didn't really
Oh
know
wow.
what I was gonna do after law enforcement because that was like my whole career that I built, like everything in my mind, my whole identity was law enforcement. And so after that, I was like, well, what the hell am I gonna do? And I ended up
Right.
like going on like I can't remember like where you find jobs, like Indeed or
Like
something like that.
LinkedIn or oh yeah, Indeed, yeah.
Yeah, like Indeed. And then I
Craigslist.
found this job and it was like pest control. And I was like, dude, what? I'll never do that. Then I was like, well, I kind of have to do something. So I was like, I'll check it out.
That's
And
crazy. Yeah.
yeah, it's wild. And then I was like, as long as I don't have to crawl under houses or get into attics, totally can do this job. I got the job and I found out that that was part of
That's
the job
exactly
is
what you got
like,
to do, right? Yeah.
yeah, because we were kind of like inspectors slash sales guys. Inspectors disguised as sales guys, or sales guys disguised as inspectors. Did it phenomenal there. That's where I actually started making like about 10K a month, which is insane
Yeah,
at the
so
time
this
because
is yeah,
never
this
made
is
that much
something I
money.
wanted to ask you about because, anyone who's watched the channel, I my sales career did not start like that at all. And you right off the bat, you started making 10K a month. So it's interesting from a farming like birth and law enforcement that you had all this confidence because you need confidence in all this stuff to start that well. I mean, what went into that? Like, how did it start so well for you?
Well, confidence came from a fake version of confidence, of what
Uh,
my definition of confidence was at the time. Because in law enforcement, you can't be scared, especially I did 4 years in the jail. Like, there is no, you can't be scared, right? Like, you have to create this persona and this like performance, so you don't get manipulated. And so, like, it was fake confidence at the time. So I was like, dude, if I could do that, I could do anything. So I ended up like getting in that job and I wasn't good at all. I actually remember my first
oh.
sell. I was standing in the rain on the Pacific Northwest in the ocean. It was like one of these like cities, dude. And I was like outside in the rain, super cold, like had my notepad, like because we had like where we did deals where we'd write like contracts and stuff like that. And it was raining. And I
Right,
was like,
yeah.
hey, I was like, dude, do you want to renew your pest control? And he's like, no, I'll think about it. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So then I left. I left, and like not even 5 minutes down the road, the company called me and they were like, hey, that guy called back. He wants to sign up with
Oh,
the to do the renewal. And I was
a
like,
blessing.
dude, no way. I just made my first sale. Like, dude, I was a hot shot, you know?
Yeah.
So went back, had no idea what the hell I was filling out at all. And so like I'm like trying to
I've been
figure out
there.
how to fill this paper out. And like he signed it, we got the money, I did the payment. It was like a cluster, dude. I remember it
Right.
being so overwhelming. And then from there, like I just started crushing it. I had a one of my good friends, he's still a good friend of mine today. We still chat. He was the top producer in the company, and he was crushing it. And so I was
Wow.
like, dude, I gotta learn from that guy, right? So started like messaging him, getting some tips, getting some tricks, And like all of a sudden, I was just start making sales. It was weird. And then I was averaging about 10 grand a month at the time, which
Wait,
is
let me
not a,
stop you there. So you
yeah,
said you were making sales, it was weird, like you were just kind of didn't know what was happening. You're like, it's just working somehow.
something was working, and I don't know what
Okay.
it was. I was like, I had no idea. I didn't even know what a sales process was at the time.
Okay.
I was just winging it. And I started like having massive success like in that time. And I was like,
That's
man, this is
crazy.
cool. I've never made, dude, I thought I was like the shit, dude. I was like making 10 grand a month. No one I knew was making 10 grand. And not even people with degrees were making that much
Yeah.
money. And yeah, it was a great position. I just got worn out over it because I was driving over 6,000 miles a month to
Oh my
homes.
God, for real?
Yeah, it
That
was
that wide of a
insane.
range? Holy hell.
Yeah, so I was putting a lot of miles on my car because we had to use our personal vehicles and we could write off a certain amount of miles and all that jazz.
Oh,
But
right. Yep.
I was just gone all the time and like it was great money, right? So it was like hard to complain, but at the same time, I was like, dude, I hate being away from home. This is terrible. I'd come
Yeah,
home
that's
like
tough.
filthy, like people with bed bugs. Like it's just the most
Ooh.
disgusting job possible, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and then from there, I ended up training with a real famous dude named Grant Cardone, and
Oh,
got
wait, like you bought
connected.
his training?
I bought his training,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
and
Okay.
so I started getting mentorship from their Canadian team. Shout out to Morgan Walls if he ever watches this, but he
Okay.
started training me one on one. And dude, like I was thinking, like, man, this is it. Like, this is the gold. I know how to sell. I know what a process is. And I went through
Wow.
Cardone University, and I was just as lost still. I was like, dude, none of this makes sense. I don't even understand this. I was trying to objection handle. I was pissing people off, and it was just a different way of selling.
Yeah. Wait, what's
So
his way like? Because I'm not personally too familiar.
it's not bad. The more I studied psychology, it's actually really good training, but
Oh,
it's more pushy style of like objection handling scripting. Their sales process totally makes sense, but I didn't understand it, so I was like assuming that this was like the right way to do it, even though I was getting
oh,
coaching,
okay.
and so like it helped, right? Obviously, it got me into the sales world and kind of taught me like, hey, I need some skills to be able to be really good at this.
Yeah.
Um, and then I started searching online for other companies. Like, I really need to get good at objection handling. And then another company out in Arizona reached out to me, like on a follow-up call. I was a lead, and then I started training with them. And then it was all automotive sales, and I was like, I don't know how this is going to help me. Like, this
Oh,
is
wow.
like this is ridiculous. I paid like $300 for the course. It was like something super cheap, but
Oh,
at the
okay.
time like I was like, oh, this is gonna really like excel my career, and it did not at
It
all.
didn't?
Uh,
Well,
no,
what
because it was
happened
all
then?
sales. It was all sales training. So like I was like a new sales guy trying to figure out what a sales process was. And I kind of had an idea, but I didn't really understand. And then I jumped into this other training that was all car sales, and I'm like, dude, I'm not a car salesman.
Man,
How is
that's a
this
lot
gonna work
different.
for
That's a
what I'm
lot
doing?
different.
Way different. So I built really good connections with that company and then ended up working with them not too long afterwards. And I still remember this to this day.
You
Like
can
I was
say
like,
it.
dude, I'm gonna work for this dude. Like he's a big influence. I was like, dude, I'm gonna work for this dude. Like I 100% believe in my heart that I'm gonna work for this dude. And so we went to a seminar out there in Arizona and met a bunch of good people, great, great people.
Right.
Still love their sales team. Not a big fan of the influencer,
Oh,
but
wow.
I didn't know at the time because I didn't know much about the industry. So I ended up going to a seminar and I was like texting this dude. I was like, dude, I'm gonna work for you. I introduced myself, blah, blah. And he's
Wait,
like,
so
yeah,
wait,
sure, you
before
know.
you went to this seminar, you were working
Yeah.
for his company already, though. You just didn't know
No,
him.
I wasn't working there yet. So
Oh,
I was like manifesting it, if you will.
okay.
And I was just kind of communicating with him. And he's like, well, my team does the recruiting. So I did the whole yards, like everything I could to get on the team. And then I was like, you know what? Forget it, dude. Like I'm gonna end up like working for this guy somehow. I'm gonna put myself in a position to work for him. Then right before I got on with that company, I actually started selling insurance
Oh,
with
yeah, yeah.
another
Tell
company.
us about this,
Kind
dude, because this is, obviously we talk about that on the channel a lot. That's a really
yeah.
interesting story.
Yeah, so I actually got into insurance right after pest control. So there was this company that was working with this influencer, and I was like, dude, that's my way in. Let me figure this out. Insurance can't be that
Oh
hard to
wow.
sell, right? So I
Wait,
started
wait,
doing
his
this
life insurance
insurance thing.
like branch?
Yeah, he had a life insurance branch at the time. I don't think he still
I
does. I
don't
think
think he still does either.
somebody,
Yeah, because I actually do
yeah.
remember him that guy talking about that in the past. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so I started in insurance and it was cool because I was selling like friends and family. And I had like a 10K month
That's so
too.
cool.
I'm like, dude, this stuff is so easy. And then I had the realization that I had to buy my leads and then start selling people that weren't interested. And like the whole insurance lead cycle was just totally screwed up.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's wild.
yeah, so I ended up still working for that company, and then that's actually where I met. We have a common friend, Caden. He was running a division over there, and
Oh
he
yeah, dude,
actually he
forgot
was,
about
yeah.
that.
And so at the time, they branched it off into like a couple different teams, and he had like his own team or whatever. He kind of like took me under his wing because I was like, dude, I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know whose team I'm on, and he's like, well, just join my team, come to our training
Wow,
halls.
I didn't know
I was
that,
like.
bro.
Yeah, I was like, all right, cool. So then we ended up becoming friends at that time. And then he like started doing training. He's like, hey, so it's crazy because I was used to the Grant Cardone way of selling.
All right.
And we ended up doing role play. He's like, hey, like it's not bad, but like who taught you that? And I was like, oh, well, I do training with Grant Cardone. He's like, well, try this. And I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And totally worked, right? There's like the old NEPQ method. And I was
Like
like, dude,
the
this is
old
awesome.
NEPQ. Okay.
Yeah. And I was like, dude, this is awesome. I didn't know there was a new way of selling. So then he's like, dude, you got to get in this training. I was like, cool. So I ended up buying the training, started training in that style. And then I ended up saying, like, telling my wife, I was like, you know what? We're going to move to Arizona. I'm going to work for this guy. And dude, we packed up our stuff, we sold our house, and we moved to Arizona, not knowing like
Wow.
what was to come. And
Dang, bro.
they had an insurance division where you could actually work at the facility, but you weren't a part of the original company. And
Okay.
so I just started showing up every day like a lost puppy. No one was there willing to help. And so I ended up just showing up all the time. And then I met really good friends from the sales team, became really good friends with those guys, started working out with them. And then one day I was in the back of the office and a couple of their other sales guys was like, "Hey, bro, you wanna sell for us?" And I was like,
Oh shoot.
yeah,
You're like, heck
yeah,
yeah.
sure." They're like, "Cool, let's do it. You're on the team now." You're because at the time they had different teams inside the company.
Right.
So then I got onto the team. I was like, "Dude, I knew this would happen. I don't know how it happened, but I just knew it would." And so I started selling with them, and literally they would give you a piece, like a couple pieces of paper with like old ass leads, and say, "Call them." And I would do. I was
Oh
like, "All right,
no,
I'll do
dude.
it.
A
I'll,
lot of
I'll do
companies do
anything,
that.
dude."
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do anything. So I started calling and dude, I was not having great success, dude. I was like, what's going on here? So then I ended up getting back with Caden for some sales training. He started mentoring me, coaching me one on one, and building out a sales script. And I didn't do too bad at that company. There was a lot of things going on within the company were pretty obvious later.
Right.
And like trying to get to 100K in total revenue off of like a paper list was extremely hard. And
Yeah,
then there was people
yeah.
doing dude, there was people doing like 500-600 grand. I'm like, all right, we're definitely not getting the same leads here,
Yeah,
right?
we're not.
So
Yeah. No, that's not how it
yeah,
works. It's
something's off
all
here.
different. Yeah. And then there's also
Yeah.
something behind that, like whenever someone has the 500K, which it
Oh
sounds like
yeah.
that was the same thing in your experience, like 500K in AP, but they're spending 400 of it on
Yeah,
ads through the
completely
year
what
or
yeah.
something crazy.
That's what I found out about the life insurance later down the road was like the guys they were building up were, claiming they were making 100 grand a month, spending 90 on ads and leads. And I was like, oh, so they're only making 10 grand a month. So what's the difference?
Yeah, yeah,
So
exactly.
just
And then they start
a
selling
big
leads, like they do everything else besides actual sales work.
Yeah, it was just complete bogus and a whole scam, if you will. Totally just hated it, right? But I got on with the team, so that's all that mattered. That was my like end goals. Like, dude, I'm gonna work for this dude. So started selling with him. Realized that they don't even train their own sales team. Like they don't even have a sales process, and then we're selling car training to real estate and life insurance. And I was like, dude, I'm confused. Like,
Oh yeah, that's
how
rough.
how am I?
Yeah.
How am I selling car sales training to like real estate agents? So I
It's
started
wild.
like
Yeah, it's
going
so
down this.
different.
so different. And they would say like they would try to reframe you and say, dude, it's the same. It's they just gotta change a couple words. And it's like, dude, this is not working at all. Like these guys are not getting results. So that kind of like triggered
This
something
is
in
not
my
working at
mind
all.
of like something's off about this place, and I'm not quite sure what it is. And so I still worked there. I worked there for about like 9 months.
Well, how long ago was that?
And oh man, that was probably 5 years ago, maybe
Oh my
six.
God, I didn't even know that
Now.
dude was around 6 ago. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was before he had like millions of subscribers, before he was actually really, really famous.
Okay, wait, and
Um,
real quick, how long did you do pest control for?
so pest control, I think it was, I want to say like a year, 2 years, something like that,
Okay, so you
before
were
I ended
like,
up going over.
and you're 30 now?
Yeah.
Okay, so you were like 25 years old when you started the in life insurance foray.
Yep.
Okay. All right,
Yep.
continue the
Yep.
story. So,
Yeah. So ended up getting on with them and just kind of like realized that things weren't like totally adding up here. And then that, they were just like saying that most off. And at the time I was training with Caden. So like I was kind of having great like sales training. Like I was like, oh, this actually
oh yeah.
works. Like, and they weren't giving us sales training. It's mind-boggling that you have a sales training company, but you don't train your own salespeople. So I just had to figure it out on my own.
Oh, that's
So,
rough,
like I
dude. I
said, I
hate doing that.
got yeah, I got mentorship, all that stuff from Caden, and like started working and making sales, and then I introduced Zoom calls and all that jazz there. And then I got put up like they had separate teams within it, and then I was working with another dude, um, and we built great company culture. It was great. The team worked really well together, but at the same time like there was a part of me that was like something's off here. I can't perform like as well as I'm used to making doing 100 to 150 thousand dollars in revenue for the pest control company. And so these guys were doing like 500 600 grand and like ended up having like an office all together where there's like four of us. And I would just kind of like listen in on conversations. And I was like talking to these 90, like these
Wait,
guys
wait, what do
couldn't
you
even
mean
afford a
conversations? Sales conversations or like amongst each
sales
other?
conversation.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
sales conversations. Yeah. So these guys were like, I was like trying to sell a $99 product and I couldn't even sell it because no one had money. I was like, dude, what's going on here? And then these guys were getting 50K deals left and right. And I'm like,
oh,
I looked over to my other buddy and I was like, hey, bro, like, don't you think it's weird that we are getting like $99 leads and we can't even sell those, but people are putting 50K deals left and right? And he's like, yeah, this is kind of weird. So went through that whole process and realized there was some shady stuff going
of
on with
course.
like
Yeah, no doubt.
internal. And then I just was like, dude, I'm over this, man. So long story short, like there was like so much that went into that company, and I just was over it.
Right.
Lies and manipulation and all this stuff going on, favoritism. I remember, dude, I got told that if I wanted good leads, I had to go hug the CEO and the owner every single day. I was like,
Oh
that's
man,
kind of
that's
weird.
gay.
Yeah, that's kind of weird that I have to go like physically give them a hug to get good leads.
What,
I'm
they
like,
were
dude,
being
this is
literal? They weren't being like,
for sure, 100%. Like, if you want good leads, this is what you do. And so I was
oh my
like, dude,
God.
this is getting a little bit too
That is
wild for
weird,
me.
bro.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, totally will. Totally a cult, by the
Yeah,
way.
dude, people
And
think
there's
Chase and
millions.
NCI is like culty, but like that's culty, bro. We don't have to like hug Chase. You know?
No, that it's totally different. This was an actual cult, and there's many
Wow.
people to back that. But anyway, so I started like game planning this, and I was like, I'm a critical thinker. Like I can be manipulated.
Got a
Everybody
big
can be
brain, dude.
manipulated. But like when start stuff doesn't start adding up, you start asking a lot of questions, and then the more
Yeah.
questions you ask, the more they outcast you. They're like, dude, you're not bought in. It's like, well, yeah, I'm not bought in. Like none of this makes sense. So
Yeah.
obviously. So there's a lot of drama that happened there. And then I got the opportunity. I got recruited over to Jeremy's team, NEPQ, and started working
That's
for them,
fire.
doing some sales there. Man, I loved it. It was awesome. I was in the office, like built
Yeah,
great
because you lived in Arizona. I
relationships.
forgot about that.
Yeah,
So
so
how'd
he
you
was
get
just right down
recruited?
the road.
How'd you recruited there? Did Caden was Caden maybe you can't say that, I don't know.
No, it was actually Matt Ryder. So Matt Ryder
Oh.
actually recruited me over to seventh level. He kind of heard through the grapevine through Caden that like I was like not happy there and like
Oh,
there was
right.
things going on. So we negotiated and obviously I got hired on there, worked there for, I think it was like 11 months. And then I got recruited. I was doing high ticket sales,
And
doing
you were just
coaching. It was
crushing it,
great,
right?
fantastic. Yeah, it was great. I had a great success. Like it was fun. I was learning a lot. The top sales guys there were amazing, dude. Like,
Oh,
it
wow.
was just
Okay.
real. Yeah, it was really cool. Like I learned so much about sales with those guys. And obviously the founder there is just like I learned so much about sales and what a sales process is, and then I got to see high performers actually performing at a really elite level, and then listening to their conversations, and then I started improving really well. And then after I left that company, I got recruited to a different
Just getting
company,
recruited
and I started
everywhere.
selling. Dude, and
How
that's the
good?
beautiful thing about yeah,
Sorry, go
that's the
ahead.
beautiful thing about building relationships is
Yeah,
one door, one relationship can lead to many doors. And it's like a journey that
that's
if you trust the
beautiful.
process, like if you just trust the process, like you'll end up where you're supposed to be. And like I've always been that guy. That's like something that like I've always done. It's like, oh, I'll figure it out. And I don't know if it's a guy's mentality or what, but it's like
Oh,
always
shoot.
worked out for me.
That's not how I
Yeah.
feel. I'm
So
like, someone
it
help.
was really cool.
No,
Yeah.
no,
It's
no, no.
just
I'm,
really
I'm the
cool.
same way, but it's just I get more anxiety about it though. But
Yeah.
well, so
Yeah.
I want to pause for a second. So, because I have anyone who watches the channel at all, they know that I actually did seventh levels training. I paid all that money to do it a while ago. And like it got me the connections and everything I needed in the process, but it didn't give me the inner confidence. So, and that's what I needed. And that Chase was the one, his trainings were
Yeah.
what got me that. So how good were you doing over at seventh level? Like, were you doing like 40K months and stuff like that? Or if you're comfortable sharing
No,
that,
yeah, not really. I think my best month of it was like 20 grand, 25 grand.
that's pretty far.
But yeah, it wasn't bad, but it was also a lot of learning like how to find leads and not just rely on what the company's giving you. Because when you have
Oh,
in any job that you have, when you have top elite performers that have been there and pretty much own the company,
yeah, they just
they're
get the good
always
leads.
gonna they're always gonna get the good leads, right?
Yeah.
So everybody at the bottom, especially when you're starting, like these people you see online right now, they're like, oh, it's easy to make 100 grand a month, blah blah. It's like, dude, like in order to get there, you have to be at a company for a long time and you have to
Yeah.
have such a high skill level
Seniority.
that you have to know more than sales, right? So in order to make more than
Yeah.
40K a month, you need to know more than skill set. Like it's so much further than
Yeah.
that. Uh,
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with scripts, as you already know. It's like
Right.
learning the CRM, how to find leads, how to actually upsell, how to like do all of these things that were never taught to me.
Yeah.
And then through like learning that these guys were making all this money, I was like, how are they doing this? And then I figured out how they were doing it, like
Right.
learning CRMs, getting upsells, and doing all this
Yeah. And
jazz.
just disclaimer, guys, I don't even know half stuff Chad knows. Like Chad's got that next level, like scripts, like learning a script and tonality gets you to 10K. Right? You think so?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
for
that
sure.
gets you, that does that. But the next level stuff, I don't even, not even in the same realm as him on this. So it's good for me to hear too, because I need
Yeah,
to get to that next level. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, so
yeah,
you were learning like the systems beyond the normal stuff. Go ahead.
yeah. And if that's the difference, that's what really separates people is the revenue generating activities, right? Is like, what are you doing when you don't have sales calls? Are you following up? Are you finding
Yeah.
leads? Are you
Oh
learning how to
yeah.
work the system? But no one teaches you that. They say, oh, just fix your script. It just needs to be better. Improve your close rate. It's like all that stuff can go out the window, right? If you
Right.
really know how to leverage it, dude, you could make as much money as you want to. So worked for them, great company. Learned a lot, made really good connections, got some high level training from some great guys. And then I ended up going to sell a different offer that was a higher ticket, like 75 to 100K offer. And it was so much different than high ticket sales because high ticket sales is like anywhere from 3K to 25K,
Yeah,
right? And
normally.
then at the same time, you're talking to salespeople that know sales resistance, and when your company promotes what you sell, they understand that they're in a sales process and all this jazz.
Yeah,
So it
so it's
makes
way
more
different
resistant,
environment. Yeah,
way
completely.
different. Yeah. So work for this company, and then, dude, fantastic. Like I crushed it, right? I did like millions of dollars in sales,
Damn,
and
all
like
right.
and like total revenue for the company. My best month there was 65K in comps.
Commissions?
Yeah.
Let's
So
go.
like a lot of people think it's skill set, but it also has to do with the offer that you're on too, right? If you want to
Oh
make more
yeah,
money,
big
you can just go
time.
to a bigger offer. And so worked for them, and then I started training with Chase during the time that I was at seventh level. Mac introduced me to him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I was like, he's like, dude, you got to check this out. And I was like, yeah, it's cool, like whatever. I was like a fangirl of the influencer that was there. I was like, oh, he knows so much, blah blah.
I was like that a little
And
bit too.
yeah, and later I was sadly mistaken, but it is what it is. So I got good relationship, good training.
Well, who put you on
And
Chase?
then
Do you remember?
Mac Martin, yeah, he turned me on to Chase. He was
Oh,
doing all
Mac
these cool
did.
things.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I was like, oh, this is kind of cool, dude. Like, I want to deep dive into this. So I started dabbling into his training, buying his books. Got like a couple courses, like 6MX at the time. He doesn't even have those courses anymore. They're in
Yeah, I never heard
the
of
other
that.
system. Yeah. And so I started doing this training. I was like, dude, this is sweet, man. Like this is like real influence.
It's
And
real.
then
Yeah, it's like really next
real.
level.
Yeah. And so me and Mac obviously had a great relationship, still do. And he's like, buying these next courses, like, oh, dude, I'm gonna buy that one too. He ended up graduating from like NCI one. I was like, dude, that's cool. So I did it. And then we just kind of made it a competition of like who can like get this knowledge as fast as possible.
That's sick.
So yeah, it was awesome. And then we started learning what true influence was, and it was just mind blowing. Changed the entire dynamic of my conversations in sales conversations, my life, my personal life, all of this jazz.
Right.
Um, and dude, we did it. Like we crushed NCI, and we're still students of the game. I think anybody that says they have it figured out is completely full of crap.
Yeah, and even Chase
And you're
says he
always
doesn't have it
constantly
figured
learning.
out.
Yeah, exactly, dude. And the more somebody has something figured out, the less they actually do.
Yeah.
But we all know the know-it-alls. So it was really cool to just be around high-level people that were still, they didn't really have too big of an ego. And then coming in with Chase is like, dude, that guy has no ego. And you're like, what in the
Yeah,
world? How can you be
none.
so successful and just be such a cool dude?
That's the first thing I
And
said, dude. That's what I
everybody.
said in my freaking video.
Yeah,
I
dude, it's
was
so
like,
cool
oh,
to
he's
see
like
somebody.
normal.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people, I would say a lot of influencers out there that have this performance mode. And when you really hang out with them, they're no longer that person, right? Or they can
Yeah,
only talk about one topic.
right.
That was the cool thing about Chase is like Chase is what he preaches. Like if you want to talk about true
Exact same.
authority and confidence, you meet that dude in person, like it will blow your mind.
I
So
can't wait.
anyway, yeah, it's going to be it's very, very fascinating how good he is at what he teaches. But more importantly, he doesn't just teach it, he is a living example of what he
And
teaches.
it's
And
automatic too, right?
it's automatic. He doesn't know he's doing it. And it's so cool to see in person. And it's so covert. You'd never know. Unless you study this stuff. And even if you
And even
study it, you
then,
still don't realize it. It's just so good. He's obviously a professional and expert in it.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and then we end up completing all four stages of NCI. Became an author, which is there's only 13 people in the entire world with the certification of an
Right.
author, which is freaking
So,
cool.
well, let's say what
Um,
that is. Let's talk about that, the
yeah,
author, because even I don't really even know what that is.
yeah,
Yeah. So,
yeah.
what is it?
So the author certification is your ability to demonstrate that you know these tools and tactics and true influence at the deepest level possible.
Okay.
And so like that might be a little bit vague, but if you guys study Chase or if anybody studies Chase, you understand that like every situation conversation that you're in, like it's not just being like, oh, that guy scratched his nose, he must be deceiving me. Dude, it's
Yeah.
way
It's
further
like a
than that.
flow
Like
state, right?
yeah, you got to know the neuroscience behind why the influence actually works, right? And so, like, a lot of these gurus out there teach tactics and tools. And what they don't teach you is how to actually implement them and
Yeah.
also what you're looking for and then why it works with the neuroscience. And so when you do the NCI for author certification, obviously it's a hard test. That's why only 13 people have it.
Right.
And it's a practical test. So it's not like you go online and go type in stuff and you can cheat on this test. You absolutely cannot, right? These guys are professional at detecting
Are
profiling and
you,
detecting deception. So
okay,
good
is
luck.
Chase giving you this exam, or is like one of the coaches, or
No. Yeah, so Merlin, who's Chase's basically he's the dean of academics over there. He's been with Chase almost
Merlin
forever.
doesn't? Right.
Yeah, Merlin and Michael, who also does that too. But they are the only people that can administer the test.
Oh, okay.
And so, yeah, ended up doing that test and passing it, luckily. It was a lot of work. Me and Max studied hours on end trying to pass this stuff and trying to piece
Oh
it
my
together and
God.
really build our influence. And that's the cool thing about it is like you had to display influence. And we're not talking about, just cool word tracks, but you need to understand how like what it actually is in terms of like influence, like the fate model and PCP, which if you guys study Chase, you probably know, but
Right.
like how it actually plays into it, and then more importantly, the depth of explanation that you can
Oof.
give on profiling and understanding it. And then the
Yeah.
neuroscience. You need to understand the portions of the brain, the neurotransmitters, how they work, why they work, all of this jazz. So it's a very in-depth test.
Right.
And you never know what you're going to get on those tests. So they change it all the time.
Oh, I
And they'll
believe
give
it.
you
Yeah.
any situation, and you need to be able to pull what you have from your toolbox and use those influences, and then also display that you can do them on the fly. Very hard to pass.
Yeah. It
So
sounds
then,
hard.
yeah, it was incredible. So we passed that test, and then, we ended up just falling into the sales team here.
Right.
So now,
That's
now
crazy. So
we're,
who approached you?
yeah,
Because, obviously I know who approached me. Who approached you?
to join the team.
Yeah.
No one, dude. I have this innate
You're the same thing.
ability.
I'm gonna work for you.
Yeah, dude, I even told Mac that. Mac was actually the first one who wanted to work with NCI. At the time, I was like, I have a really good offer going. I just don't really, like, I don't know if I want to get back into high
Yeah,
ticket
you were.
necessarily.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's like, well, I want to, kind of work with him, blah blah. And I was like, oh, that's cool. We'll figure this out. So I was like, I got a game plan. Let's do this, bro. So I won't tell you the game plan in case people watch this, but ended up making it happen,
It
dude.
worked.
And like it completely worked, and we got on with the team. We've been
Wow.
crushing it.
So you
So
became an
yeah.
author before you worked here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's
Dang,
one of the
bro.
It honestly, majority of the people, like if you want to work for Chase, dude, I think you got like one of the lucky spoons there. Is
Sounds like
most
it.
people don't get hired without training with Chase at a high degree. Like everybody that's on the team has done the trainings and passed majority of the tests.
Right. I'd assumed
Um,
that. Yeah.
yeah, so they're already in the community. So that's why people are like, "Oh, I want to work with Chase." I'm like, "Well, you got to do the training. So because
Shoot,
it's
I need
very
to get my
hard to
certs
sell
up.
yeah, it's very hard to sell and be really good at selling if you don't know the product. And you'll hear this a lot is like, you don't need product knowledge. It's complete BS. Like, you absolutely need product knowledge because majority of those guys that are saying that are just selling things that they shouldn't be selling to people that shouldn't be buying them. Um,
Oh my God, I can't
so
imagine buying from someone like something when they don't know anything about it. Like that just sounds like a horror story.
yeah, and they're so good at objection handling that they like get you to this point where you're like, oh, maybe they don't need to know all this, but it's a manipulation at its highest
Yeah,
level.
it is.
Um,
Well, okay,
and
so I
then
want to ask you about this before you continue. So,
yeah,
um, because the NCI for author thing is huge, right? I don't want to like gloss over this. So
yeah.
first of all, why do they call it author?
The main reason is because you are writing your own life, right? So you're
Oh,
manufacturing every outcome that you interact with, right? So that could be personally, that could be you being an artist, right, and creating influence for somebody else that needs it, right?
right.
And so the author title is like you're writing your own book, right? We all are writing our
That's
own book,
deep.
but to what degree? Yeah, to what degree are you doing it? And so
Okay.
when you get that title, that's what you're capable of doing is influencing people at the highest level.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So that's clearly, yeah, that makes so much sense now. It like opens my eyes. So for you, I think this will be really interesting for people, because obviously through NCI that I just learned through Caden, the biggest thing for me was overcoming limiting beliefs and anxieties that would just like destroy me on a daily basis, basically.
Yeah.
Like there was one where I just like I couldn't even outbound someone and sell them. Like I just couldn't. It just felt terribly. And I wrote down on the piece of paper the classic strategy, like wrote the limiting belief out, where the anxiety is coming from, pasted it everywhere, and it
Yeah.
was gone in 3 days.
Yeah.
Completely gone in 3 days, dude. Like
Yeah.
completely. And that was huge for me, dude. That transformed everything. That literally transformed everything for me. Just that. For you, like what was your biggest? Because the first thing you said when we started was this fake confidence, right? Like was that the biggest takeaway, or like what changed in you the most that made you, realize that this is amazing for me?
One, the level of depth that it goes in, and the true uh the neuroscience behind it, because it's backed by anything, right? Like you could take Chase completely out of the company and you can't argue with the things that he's teaching because it's
Right.
all backed by thousands of hours of research and thousands of papers. Like good luck arguing
And
that,
him doing
right?
it.
And him doing it. Yeah. And it's so fascinating that you can change these things inside of yourself. And I think Chase's definition, which I've adopted in my life, is the definition of true confidence is two things, right? One, not caring at all with social judgment, right? So you don't
Yeah,
care
he
what other
says
people
that.
think about you. You go out on the dance floor, you dance, you do what you got to do. You don't care about social consequences. Then, secondly, is being completely okay with any outcome. Whatever outcome happens, it's all good. You're
I'm not there.
totally fine.
Yeah.
So if you can get to that point in your life, your influence 100x's very fast because you're not scared to approach. Maybe if some of your viewers are going to approach a girl, you don't care because you're okay with the outcome and you don't care if
Yeah.
you get judged at all. Like it doesn't matter, right? And so same thing with sales conversations is like you just are so detached from it that you don't care what the outcome is. It's totally fine. Chase uses the analogy of like, if I gave you a stack of $100 bills, can you go pass them out to everybody on the street? And then when you do pass those out, if somebody rejects you, are you going to look at yourself and be like, am I the problem? Or are you going to look at them and say, what's
Right.
wrong with
I never
you?
heard that before. That makes so much sense.
Yeah, so it's like if you have a product and it works and you know it works and it's so much value, your thought process is never, are we the problem? It's always
Yeah.
like, what's wrong
Like
with
what's
this
wrong with this
person
other
that
person? Yeah, it makes sales so much
yeah,
easier.
it makes your life so much easier.
It
And then
does.
sales is just a byproduct, right? And so
Right.
learning what true confidence is and being able to, display true confidence and practice true confidence, it will absolutely change your life. I will say, aside from learning influence and communication skills, if you can master confidence, like you own everything. You own the room, you own the sales conversations. If salespeople could just learn how to actually have true confidence, they would 10x automatically
I think
overnight.
so.
They don't
Yeah, well,
need
I did.
they don't need sales script. Yeah, they don't need sales scripts.
Yeah.
But getting them to realize that you don't need tactics, right? We're in this world of short-term gratification. Hey, I just need the script. I just need the script. Um, and that's a long route. If you want to take the short route, learn how to be truly confident and live a disciplined life.
Right.
We have what's called the authority triangle, if anybody knows what that is. And like going through that and really analyzing yourself and critiquing things that you need to improve on and being completely honest with yourself is huge. And
That's
the
yeah,
first thing
that
you
is
got to
big.
do,
Gotta be honest with
you got to
yourself.
get rid of the ego. That's the biggest thing for a lot of people is they're so
Yeah. Oh, I
ego
had a
driven.
huge ego. It's such a huge ego, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
unearned too. I had a huge ego. And
A lot
here's
of
the thing I
people
want to
do.
say real quick too. Chase defines anxiety as an ego problem too, right?
For sure.
So
For
he
sure.
so he said anxiety is you're going around thinking you matter so much more than you do. And that's
Yeah.
such a great definition. And I think it's so accurate. Like you don't
That's
matter,
a
dude. You
hundred
don't
percent.
matter. Like, why are you worried? Right?
Yeah, it's all a game at the end of the day. But it's very narcissistic too. A lot of people like to
It
throw that
is.
word around, but there's no one on this planet that's not narcissistic to some degree. So
Exactly.
let's because we're always constantly thinking about what are other people looking. What are they judge? Are they judging me or what are they thinking of me? It's all about
Right.
me, 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 me.
Yeah.
I did this presentation for a company a couple months ago, and that was one of the topics that we talked about is like even when I was prepping for that presentation I was thinking, well, what if they don't like me? what if
There's
they
always
what if
something.
they
Yeah.
just don't get it?
Yeah.
And so like at that moment I was like, wait, hold on a second, who is this whole thing about, me or is it about them?
Right.
And that's the realization that a lot of people need to have. It's all about them. It has nothing to do with you. And the moment you can define that and take that out, you actually connect with people a lot
Way
better.
more. Your influence. Yeah.
And your influence goes up automatically because they can feel it. they can feel that you're wanting to give them value instead of worried about commission or, oh, if they don't get into this, am I going to hit my KPIs? Like whatever the issue might be, or how am I going to look to them? If you can just get rid of that and just say, hey, I have value, I'm going to add it to them. If they don't take it, I'm not the one with the problem,
Right.
right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's like a
You got to
huge
have the
thing
right
that if
mindset.
totally, yeah, totally a mindset thing, and having the tools to utilize it and be aware of it, right? You're still going to have it, but if you're aware of it, you can fix it.
Right.
So,
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things too is this is a really simple advice from Chase is that everything that's holding you back loses power once it comes out into from the dark into the light. Just by
yep,
telling somebody or writing something down, whatever power something has over you, he loses it. So let's say Chad was preparing for this meeting, he just could easily just write out, "I'm nervous that they won't get it," and all of a sudden his nerves are going to immediately go down because you look at it and over time you're just like, wow, that is retarded. you know
yeah,
and so I
yeah,
think that's one of the biggest things. So do you still have time or do we gotta wrap it up?
yeah. We got time.
Okay, huge thing. This is obviously a really big deal that I know that you have done is the Avery. Now I don't even know if
Yeah,
it's the Avery or if it's Avery. I don't know really anything about this. Luckily, I'm not on the Avery team because that'd be bad.
yeah.
Can you start by telling us like what Avery is?
Yeah, it's very hard to define what Avery is, but I
Oh
will do my
God.
best. So Avery is how I describe it, and this might be completely wrong from how like Chase and them describe it, but how I like
Chad's
process it
definition,
was
yeah.
Chad's definition here is it's an alter identity to protect you, protect the real you,
Oh,
right? And so it's this hypnotic process that there's many steps that are involved in Avery, but they install an Avery inside of your mind. And people are like, well, how can you do that? Well, the CIA has done it for millions and millions, and they put millions of dollars into it, and they've already discovered this, right?
oh,
Uh, so it's not like it's something new. It's just Chase has put a new twist on it to utilize it for good, right? And so
right.
the best way to describe it is like if you think about a traumatic experience, that traumatic experience was triggered by a moment. So anytime that moment happens, for anybody that has PTSD, like that moment that happens, that trigger moment brings up so much emotion and memories. Well, imagine if you could do that, but instead of the negative emotions and all the trauma and all the negative effects that it has on you, you could actually program your mind when that trigger is set to have positive emotion and positive outcome. Same thing. So that's what they install with Avery is a positive outcome to a trigger, and
So
it
explain
is
that.
amazing.
What like a
Yeah, it's
trigger?
any trigger. How they do the Avery process is you get to activate Avery, so you have full control over Avery. So everybody's trigger is a little bit different, but it's just like essentially like it could be anything, right? It could
Are
be
you
you
like a
touch.
Manchurian candidate now? Like or if I said like glass
Possibly.
bottle on the fridge, you're like, I'm super confident now, or like
No, not to that degree. So in hypnosis, if anybody studies hypnosis, you give the keys to somebody else to have full control over their outcomes, right? Some hypnosis, they can technically control you, but the Avery process is meant to you only have that trigger so you can activate it on its own. Sometimes Avery activates on its own as well. When it feels like these negative emotions coming in, Avery will actually take over for you and you can feel it. It's like a deep hypnotic
oh
state
wow.
that all of a sudden you feel a shift in your whole physiological body, however you say that, and you just notice this shift, and you're like, oh, there it is, and you could feel it,
You
and
feel
all of a
good.
sudden those like nerves or whatever's preventing you, whatever you fix in Avery, it's like all of a sudden it's activated and you can feel it, and it's the
Wow.
weirdest experience, but anybody that's done a hypnosis really understands the concept there, but yeah, it's meant for positive outcomes on like limited beliefs or like barriers that you can't break through, or if you're scared of public speaking, or you have these limitations that you put on yourself. You just know your Avery's there to protect you, and
Okay, so it's
whatever
like a
it tells
person.
you,
It's basically like another person.
it's an alter identity. Yeah, I mean, essentially,
Wow.
is how I describe it. Yeah, so it's just a state shift, if you will, right? So an alter identity could be just a state shift. So
Okay.
uh, it. The best way I can describe it for a feeling wise is like if you were ever nervous or something, and all of a sudden those nerves just disappeared, and you're like, where did they go?
That'd be
And you're like,
beautiful.
oh, cool, that's cool.
That'd be so
That's what
beautiful.
Avery does. Yeah. And so like it's just automatic, and it's such a cool process.
Right.
Really, I think a lot of people should do it. Um,
So,
well worth it.
well, so it
Well
sounds
worth
like
it.
it's powerful, right? Like really powerful. Like how
Very.
long ago did you do it?
I did mine in January of this year.
Oh,
So going
shoot,
on
bro.
almost 5, 6 months. Yeah.
Are you comfortable sharing with why you did it and stuff like that? You
Yeah,
don't
I
have.
did it for yeah, I did it for many reasons. One, I wanted to be better at tradecraft because in order to be really good at tradecraft, which is what we define as influence and persuasion, you have to completely get rid of a lot of these limited beliefs that you have or cares that you have, right? So we talked about true definition of confidence. Confidence is something that you're always constantly building, right? So one, Avery can help you with more confidence, having more confidence, being able to get rid of the negative thoughts that are in your head that are telling you, oh, you don't know what you're doing. They're going
Yeah.
to catch on to you if you do it, all of these
Yeah.
things.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh, right,
so
because you
that's
can't
one.
hypnotize people if you're like in your head about it. Like you got to be like really confident. I
Yes.
am going to hypnotize. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, super confident, right? And so same thing with influence and persuasion. If you have conviction, you can get anybody to do anything, realistically. So that was one side of the coin, and then the other side of the coin was how can I be the best version of myself, and how can I learn faster? So it had a lot to do with learning. A lot of my childhood, like there was a lot of negative, like, oh, I'm not smart enough. Like, dude, I barely graduated
Mm.
high school. I didn't go to college.
Wow,
Like,
me
dude,
too,
how am
bro.
I? Yeah, like how am I around these influencers? How am I making the money that I'm making? Like this doesn't make sense. And so like you start going down this negative thought loop of
Oh my
like,
God,
am I
yeah.
worth it? Does it make sense? It's going to crash down. When is it going to when is it going to completely just be destroyed, right? And so these things can also prevent you from performing, right? So being able to correct that and like really get linear on your childhood and getting rid of some of these limitations that you have, it just completely changes who you are.
Yeah. Okay. So that was really a huge thing for you. Because it's funny
Yeah.
too. I'm not at that level, obviously, that where you were at, but I barely graduated high school too. I technically failed 10th grade 3 times, but
Wow.
like they accelerated me in 1 year. I was able to graduate instead of having to be in high school for 7 years. I had graduated with a
Dude,
exactly a 2.0 GPA. You know what I
I
mean?
was probably around there, but when I got my final grade, it was like a 3.5, and I was like, somebody lied on that because I definitely
Dude,
did not get that.
bro, what's
So,
crazy too? I'm actually one of the things of my goals is there's a math teacher that his name was Mr. Ford, and me and him were super
mm,
tight, like for what a teacher and a student could be. And I know that the final exam that I took, I didn't fill out half of it, and I didn't know the other
mm,
half. I just tried and
yeah,
then gave up. And I know where my grade was. I know that he faked that I passed it so I could pass instead of failing the grade. I want to like
yeah,
show up to the school one day and like give him a Rolex or something crazy like that. Because if I would have had to spend 1 extra year in high school, like my entire life would be drastically down a different path. Because like so many things lined up for me to kind of be where I am. In one
yeah,
year extra, like if everything was delayed by 1 year, it just would not have lined up at all. Like for me to have met Caden, that avenue would not exist because I met him through NPQ training, and I
yeah,
didn't like my job, and they're like, "Hey, go ask this guy." Therefore I wouldn't have met him. I wouldn't have been here. Um, I wouldn't have probably ever done Jeremy's training, and I would probably still be just at the dead end personal training job that I was at. Not like I was making terrible money, like it was just like 85K a year, but I think I
yeah,
made, that's not where I want to be, right? So anyway, there's been like it's crazy that like what he did probably felt so small to him, and he was probably like, ah, fuck it, man, I like this kid, he's passing,
yeah,
and
yeah.
in reality, it drastically changed everything for me. You know what I mean? So okay, so let's get back to Avery. So can you talk about the process at all, or is that under NDA?
Yeah, I'm under an NDA for that. But what I can say is I have I didn't expect it to work. Like my expectation of it was like
You're
completely
probably like,
shattered
it's probably not
because
gonna.
I had an idea of what it was, and then I was completely wrong.
It's a
But
hypnosis center.
yeah, it's a lot more than that. But yeah, the main purpose, obviously, that's how you speak to the
Oof.
unconscious mind, right? So
Yeah.
there's a lot of cool tools that they use in that, but um, yeah, totally worth it. Like it is an
Wow.
investment, obviously, but
Yeah.
like I think the way it was described to me was like take 4 years of personal development and condense it down to 4 days, and that's what you get.
Yeah, that's powerful, man. God, I would love that.
Yeah,
Yeah, wow.
yeah.
Yeah, so well, that's something I need to do. I need to pass the freaking one, two, and three certifications, though. I should be able to doing that pretty soon, but I definitely need to do that. Okay. Yeah, so Avery is really powerful. How often do you feel like Avery shows up? Is this like once a week it shows up for you, or like how does that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I would say I don't put myself in a lot of positions that it needs to activate itself. There's been times where I activate it on purpose, but I will say one of the things that maybe it does activate on that I don't really notice it is like a lot of like public speaking now, right? So if I ever
That's a
do public
huge.
speaking or anything like that, the nervousness is just naturally gone, and I don't know if it's just completely wiped it away or it actually takes over and I just haven't noticed it.
Mm,
Uh, but like everything, dude. Like my learning abilities, my skill set, like my confidence, like it's completely changed from
wow.
that process. Like NCI in itself will completely change you once you gain the skill, understand how to read people, see people, all of that
100%.
jazz. But Avery is like taking, like I said, taking 4 years of personal development and just shoving it down into 4 or 5 days and just being like, here you go. And you're like, oh, okay. That was quick, but it's a very cool process for sure.
Dude, yeah, that sounds actually so interesting, man. Like I kind of think of how many times I get anxious, and it's
Yeah.
almost like, dude, I have a shitload of anxiety, which is crazy. But the thing I've always been able to do ever since I was a teenager was push myself no matter how bad I feel about something. So I'm always able to push myself through anxiety. But I think new things give me anxiety. Like that's why because I'm always pushing myself, so I'm always getting it, but then I'm pushing over it. That's like kind of
Yeah.
my thing. Like the first day calling people here, bro. Dude, I cannot tell you how much anxiety I had, and I was just like, dude, what's going on? Like,
Yeah.
but it's just new things, and I have to do it. I know I have to do it. That's kind of how I feel on that. That'd be really exciting to do. But all right, bro. I mean, dude, we could easily have you back on for like two, three total episodes because I didn't think your backstory would be so freaking interesting and cool, bro.
Yeah.
Like all this stuff is so cool. We could probably have you talk about Avery coming into play like on a whole freaking hour-long episode if we wanted, but
Oh yeah.
we'll wrap it up here. Did you have anything you'd like to close out on or anything you wanted to say?
Yeah, I think next episode we'll deep dive into NCI University, what Chase is all about, and how his training has completely changed my life and a lot of other people's lives. And I think once people realize the value that's there, they're going to be completely mind blown. I mean, we have therapists that have been therapists for 30 years. They come into our training and they're like,
Yeah.
I never even knew that. And these are people helping people change. So it goes way deeper than you think. But we'll deep dive into that another time.
All right, you guys heard it here. Chad is coming back for another episode, and I only had to pay him 10K for this episode, guys. So this video has to get 5 million views, or else I'm in the red. So just kidding. But anyway, guys, this has been the Closers Confessions. My name is Jacob, and that is Chad Elliott. It was amazing having him on, and we will see you guys next time. Peace.